Hello, welcome to another episode of Free Code Friday. My name is Jason Bach, and I'm not going to say the numbers of the episodes anymore. I'm just going to leave them in however they get uploaded into YouTube, and I'll figure it out then. One less thing I have to keep going to. So, in this episode, what I'm going to start working on is the WSharp compiler, the compiler that I'm going to be writing to compile whenever programs. And just to back up here, if you missed a previous one, this is what whenever code looks like. Code is executed randomly. You execute a line of code, it does something, and then it disappears unless it's deferring itself, and then the line of code stays there. And so this code actually will print out 99 bottles of beer on the wall over some given amount of time. Again, the execution time will probably vary because you're dealing with code that literally can be truly random. So you don't know exactly when it's going to finish, if technically ever. So that's what I'm going to start working on tonight. Now, what I started thinking about this and the approach that I want to take with doing this, and I've been watching Immo's videos on YouTube as he's writing this compiler from Minsk, and it's been very interesting, learning a lot by watching them, but I'm not comfortable yet with just diving in and going, okay, how do I write a compiler for this language? Again, this is something totally new to me, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I thought, well, how can I actually start getting into this and doing some progress in a gentle way? And I started to come to the realization, pull this stuff over here. Just want to make sure I'm recording. Yes, I'm recording. Okay, good. Came to the realization that I don't necessarily have to do any compilation just yet. There's going to be this engine that's sitting there and basically goes in a while loop and says, while I have lines of code to run, randomly run a line of code. And that method can just be an action or maybe a func. I'm not sure if it's going to say it needs to return something yet or not, but it's going to be some method that it can just run. And it can also pass a reference into something that it can call methods like defer and what's another one? Again, I think is one. So, and be able to like say, does this line exist? Add or remove lines for the given line identifier, those types of things. And so I can build all that, and then I can just fake it. I could do something as really stupid as saying, okay, if I'm going to parse a line, I'm actually not going to parse it. I could just give input right now. It says parse line 1, and in my little test I could say 1 is actually going to do what this is doing right here. Okay, and do that and codify that as an action. Same with 2, 3, and 4, and then I can test, does my engine actually do the right thing? Okay, and is the way I'm interpreting how whenever code should work, is that correct? So this actually ended up being kind of a nice, I think this is going to be a nice win, because I can, for now, just get that engine coded and tested and do it all in C#. And that engine's going to actually be referred by the program that's eventually created. So, that's where we're going to get into the lexing and the parsing and the binding and the omitting and all that other stuff. But for now, I can make sure that the engine and the execution is solid. And once I got that into place, we can move on. Okay. I'm still not entirely sure. I asked in a Gitter channel if there's any information about system reflection metadata, because that's one way in .NET Core, even though this is going to be all .NET standard, other than the executable. I didn't know which approach to take in terms of emitting code, emitting IL or emitting an assembly. There's CECL. There isn't system reflection emit. That's actually coming in .NET Standard 2.1, which will be .NET Core 2. No, it's going to be .NET Core 3, I believe. So .NET Standard 2.1 is going to have system reflection emit again, which is good. So I'm still not sure which IL generation assembly I'm going to be using, but I don't have to worry about that right now. I'm just going to build this runtime and this other stuff. So really this episode is just going to be setting up the projects, which is going to be kind of boring, but I do a lot of copying and pasting, so hopefully that'll go through. And then I can start thinking about how I want to build this runtime and what it's going to take to build up the lines. And so just let's do a little quick sketch here. There's going to be some concept of a line, and a line has a count. Actually, it has an identifier. That's the number in front. And then it has a count. That's how many lines are actually there right now. And then it has a method. And this will be either an action or a func. I don't know yet. Okay. But it's going to be some shape like this. The thing, though, that I realize, especially with the 99 bottles of beer in the wall program, is that you can have, a line that like 1 is 1, 2 has a count of 1, 3 has a count of 1, and 4 has a count of 1. But as soon as you execute 4 goes away, and then all these pop up to 99. Okay. Well, the point I'm trying to illustrate here is that randomly picking a line isn't just the existence of that line object in my engine, it's the number of them. So in other words, when I generate a number, I have to look at the current count of lines and say, well, you really have 99, which is in this case times 3, so whatever that is. Can't do that off the top of my head. No, that's 297, because if it'd be 100, it'd be 300, and then subtract, so I think that's right. And then actually, as I thought, so what I have to say is, okay, that's the number of lines, so then generate a number 2 there, and if I get 57, well, that goes to line 1. If I get 99, that goes to this one. 98 would actually go to this one, because that's 0 to 98. The point is I have to create ranges of numbers that give you the possible, which line am I actually going to pick based on how many there are. The more lines there are, the better chance one of those has to run. Okay. So, and then I thought, well, when you first execute the program, you can be probably a little smarter than this. Instead of continually going through every time when you got to run a line to do that calculation, you can say, well, I have this, and so when I have my object, which is going to get some constructor of an immutable list of lines, that I'll just go through and grab all the counts, which should be all ones. So I know that when I start the program, then in this case I have 4. Okay, and then the way that 99 bottles of beer works is that these consistently keep getting deferred, so they don't go away. So they don't have to change this global line count. But when 4 executes, what I have to do is essentially subtract 1, because 4 is going to go away, and then add, it's technically 98 times 3, okay? Because what I currently have here, I got to add 98 to it. So this goes away. This goes to 98, that goes to 98, and that goes to 98. Okay. But no, that's not true. These actually are 99. You're adding 98 to them. Okay. So, because I'm an idiot, and I can't do math off the top of my head, or minus 1 is 3 plus 98 times 3. 297. So that works. The point is I can say, hey, what is that method, or line 4 is going to say add 98 lines for 1, 2, and 3, and then pull itself off. So as I'm doing like line additions or line removals or whatever, I also just keep that current line count updated, and then I don't have to keep going through the list. I can just always look at that and say, well, I have, whoops, what the heck am I doing here? I I have 297 lines, and so I just know that's how many. I've got to generate a random number from 0 to 297 exclusive. Yeah, because I got to go to 296. Yeah, that's correct, I think. So then I can say, okay, if I generate a number from this, where does it actually, which line is it actually going to execute then? So I think that should work, but the point is I got to keep. Why am I seeing? Oh, okay, it must have been doing an insert. Yeah, is that what it looks like? Oops, no, I'm just curious. Ah, yes, that's what it does look like when you have it on in Notepad++. Okay, so you can. So the point is I got to keep a magnitude of how many lines. I have to actually keep how many instances of the line around. And when I generate the random number, don't just do it for the actual instances here, how many lines are actually generated. All right, so that was 11 minutes of absolutely doing no code other than sort of pseudocode. So let's actually jump into 2017. Okay, and we're going to do file new project. And we're actually going to create a solution first. And this is going into my typical Go projects. Going to create the directory for solution. And this is going to be WSharp. Okay. And I actually was going to call like this, but it's that camel case. You just can't, I can't do camel case. Can't allow that here. So WSharp. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing. What I also need to do while I'm here is I'm going to go to personal, go projects. I always realize sometimes in my videos I've occasionally had to edit things because I sometimes have things here like, oh, you can see I have tickets to the Neil Moore show that was here last year, and I've got videos like with my I've got stuff with my tax returns here. So whatever. It's just there are some things though that sometimes I accidentally will show like a folder name or something that it has to do with a client, and then I gotta like cut that out or whatever. So I just because I can't do that. So code projects, let's go into rocks because I'm going to copy a couple things here. I want my editor config, I want my git ignore, I want a license file, and I want a readme file. And I think that should be good for now. Okay, so let's go into WSharp, one I just created. Put those all there. Editor config is going to be fine. Git ignore is going to be fine. License, I believe, will be 2018. Come on, I got to get that stuff up here. Is MIT let that should be good. Okay. And then readme. So we're going to say pronounced WSharp. And I don't know what all this is. So this is going to be a whenever compiler written in C#. So at least I got something, so when I actually add this into GitHub, it'll all be there. Okay, so I got my editor config the way I want. Let's actually now create, oops. Actually, why do I even have my headphones on? I keep doing that sometimes because I gotta check the level and then I forget I don't actually need my headphones on. All right, let's do add a new project, and we want to make it a .NET Standard project, class library. It's going to be WSharp. And what did I want to call it? I think it was like engine or something. Runtime. Okay, WSharp runtime. Naming is hard. Okay, so now let's actually go back over here. Let's go into the rocks world again. And what I want to do is actually open this in Notepad because I want to grab a bunch of stuff here that I already have. I don't want to put in the NuGet stuff yet. I also eventually want this to be using Azure pipelines because I want to play with that and actually having this project being compiled out using Azure pipelines and test run and publishing to NuGet automatically and all that other stuff. Not yet, but I'm going to get there. Okay. This is going to need, let's see, I want to copy that, assembly name, root namespace, version copyright, package on build. Repository, I don't have one yet, but we'll get there. So let's put all that in there. Assembly name, WSharp, runtime. And we're going to be 0.1.0 for now. 2018, come on, you got to add that copyright in there, right? I am the author. Okay, library, we'll do that. So we'll have those in there in a moment. This is whenever compiler written in C#. I think that's what I said, right? Is that what I said? I don't remember what I said. What had I done? Yep, okay. So oh yeah, okay. No repackage release notes. Treat warnings as errors. Yes. Absolutely got to do that. Okay, and then the package references for this. I think I'm going to want I'm going to want my spackle, because that actually is a range. C# 8 is going to have the notion of a range type and actually have some native language support to it. But I have one in spackle, so I'm going to want that. And I also have something called secure random in this library. So it's kind of like the combination of the random class with a cryptographically secure random number generator. It's like the best of both worlds. The random class shape, so to speak, is fairly nice and easy to use, but it's not random, it's pseudo-random. The cryptographically strong ones, secure ones, are good from that perspective, but their interfaces are hard to work with, so I actually kind of melded the two together and have a secure random type in there, and I found that to be useful. So I'm definitely going to want to reference that, and I am almost positive that this is .NET Standard. Now, I don't want to report abuse. It's not like I did anything wrong. So, .org. I did nothing wrong. Spackle. Where are the dependencies? I did it right. Okay. It would have probably told me anyway, but we're good. Okay. So I guess it done the thing. Yeah, it added it in there. Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to need that. Do I need anything else? Oh, the immutable stuff. That's right. Okay. So system.collections.immutable. Sounds good to me. Install the latest stable. Good. Why is this always coming up? I want that to come up. All right, and I think that should be good for now. Stupid class. And then I'm also gonna, before I forget, because we got to do it, add a project. I don't remember off the top of my head. Is this? See, this is one of the reasons I do projects like this, because once I figured it out, I need to keep it up here. I just need to know where it's there. So it's actually okay. Yeah, that crap. I don't think the Visual Studio test engine yet understands multiple target frameworks for this, so that's why I have to keep switching out the framework one. But cool. Okay. So we will actually create it as a .NET Standard project, and then I'll just edit the file. So name will be WSharp runtime.tests. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of these classes. It's just icky. Okay, so this one is going to need to be edited, and debug type of full, lang version, latest. Yeah, that's good. So my name, version, copyright. Yeah, I do need unsafe blocks for rocks, but not for this. So WSharp dot runtime dot test. I'm gonna get done with this, and it's gonna be like, wow, you had half an hour of just babbling and actually not getting anything done. But this stuff is important. You gotta get this stuff right. All right, we want the item groups. Because we're going to need the test and the end unit, because I like end unit, my thing, I like it. And then we also need to include, I'll just copy this verbatim and then tweak it as needed, the WSharp runtime. There. Close that. He figured out the project, which is good. Let's just see. I say build. Does it build? It builds. Hey, I guess that's a success. And yeah, look at that. Awesome. I should actually also add in analyzers. I need to do that, but we'll forget that for now. All right, so let's commit this to GitHub. Why not? I always forget the actual order of how you're supposed to do this. Why is it jerky like this? Come on. Add local repository, I believe. Choose. That is weird. Why is my mouse so, like... Oh, I know why. Because I plugged it into my USB thing that I think that's why it gets a little jerky. But anyway, that's fine. At least it explains it. Okay. Yeah, select that folder. Would you like to create a repository here instead? Oh, so I guess so. See, okay, this is, to me, is a confusing UI. Because I get what it's saying. You don't actually have a Git repository. You didn't make one, so you actually want to create one. But what this should say now is, would you like to create a repository here instead? Yes or no. That didn't change, so now it makes me a little confused. So actually what I do is I want to create a new repository, which is called WSharp. Whenever compiler written in C#. Local path is WSharp. Don't need to initialize the README because it's there. Don't need to put a git ignore there, and don't need to put a license there. Create the repository. And did it do something? I think it did. I am not sure. Wow, my mouse is really jerky. Holy crap. I think it worked. Let's say commit. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Remember next time. Don't put the mouse in that one, because that just makes it like almost unusable. And I can't switch it because then I'd have to switch my mic around. But learning. Okay. No, I don't need to keep this code private. It's not under those. So publish. Okay, did you do what I thought you did? I'm not really convinced that this actually github.com/jasonbox/WSharp. Yeah, this isn't right. It's not. I'm feeling like an idiot here. What did I... Of course it would put the... Ah, come on. That is not what I wanted. Well, let's just see if that does. I don't know. It's going to get confused because it's going to say, I don't know where your directory is. Which can you find it again? Ah, but they're still there. Okay. Just shut it down. Shut it down. And we actually didn't create that directory yet, so... I actually installed gitkraken, and I haven't cracked open gitkraken yet. Yeah, I'll say locate. And that's it. Aha! There we go. Now we got the... Aha. Helps to be pointing to the right directory. I should be doing branching. I just want to get this initial crap done first. So I'm actually almost at 30 minutes, and I'll be quite honest, this past week or so I've been getting slides ready to be turned into VS Live Orlando, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to be down in Florida for a week in December. That will be awesome. Miss my family, but that'll be cool to be there. And had to get all my slide decks done. So I've been working a lot on that this week. And I'm also leaving tomorrow for Milwaukee Code Camp. I've never attended that event or spoke at it, so wanted to give that a shot. And I'm going to be doing 2 talks there Saturday. And heading down with a friend of mine. So that makes the drive a little easier. It's also snowing today in Minnesota, which, yes, it's Minnesota, but I'm hoping it doesn't get too much and it ends up getting cleaned up enough so that when we leave tomorrow, it won't be too bad. The point of all I'm trying to say is I haven't had a lot of time this week, and I wanted to at least keep the video so I had the cadence up. But once I get back from Milwaukee, I should be able to start producing a lot more videos. In fact, next week I start a 10 or 11 day staycation where I'm going to be staying at home and doing a bunch of cleaning and fixing up and just things here and there. But I'm also going to be relaxing and probably playing video games while my kids are in school. And I will probably have some more time to create some more videos and get ahead of the content game again, so that will all be good. So I'm going to stop with this episode for now. It doesn't feel like a lot, but I'm actually pretty excited. This is the first step, and I think there's potentially a lot of cool things that's going to be happening with this. It'll just be a lot of fun. So I'm going to stop for now. Thanks for watching. Leave any comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.